Welcome back to Chaos Gate. Now, quick housekeeping before we get started. This is the second time I've recorded this first episode, and the reason for that is simply time is limited for me, and my first recording, what I was pointing out in my dialogue was all over the place, super hard to follow, and really hard to edit down to something that was easy to understand. So I learned my lessons and decided to restart. Because it is the first episode, I have the luxury of doing that. Now, I did pick the same loadout, so 2 Justicars, an Interceptor, and an Apothecary, and
Your command?
let's get going. Alright, so this first mission, super easy to the point of boring. However, it's a good introduction.
Affirmative. Let the hunt continue.
Alright, and you usually don't want to do that, like where you move with a forward knight all 3 actions, because if we happen to reveal that pod there, these 3 knights would be majorly out of position. Not a big deal on this first mission, because I know it. It's always the same, and I know it decently well. But I'm pretty much just going to try to bring attention to aspects of the game that you wouldn't realize if this is your first time being introduced to this game, like if you're coming from XCOM. And I guess the first thing to point out is you get 3 action points per night, and no action is turn ending.
It will be done.
So the enemy turn happened, we got 15% on the warp surge meter, and this enemy pod moved within our detection range. And here's the other interesting, very useful tidbit of information we get. We get the direction the pod will move in their next turn. So this pod will move up onto that ledge, and this pod here is just going to stay still.
At once.
Now, if you find this game difficult, or if you're playing on Legendary, I highly recommend this next tip. Whenever you're in a situation where you're going to engage an enemy, and you know it's going to happen, cast Aegis Shield on all your knights first. Now, the Warp Surge meter I mentioned will go up. When you spend, let's just read it. The Warp Surge meter increases each turn based on the planet's corruption level, and whenever you expend willpower using psychic abilities, once the meter reaches 100, it will trigger Warp Surge. Okay, so when it says when you spend willpower, there is one ability, Aegis Shield, that does not cost willpower but will increase the Warp Surge meter. And I just point out there is a cost associated.
Standing ready. The Emperor protects. What is your will that he can choose us? Storm, the Emperor protects.
However, I fully believe it is well worth the
Yes,
cost.
Commander. As ordered.
Okay, we're going to try to trigger this pod now
I
that
am
we're
here
ready.
to serve. Knights! One. Enemy sighted.
Unit info. You can hover over a unit and click on this blue circle, or you can just middle mouse button on them, and you will see everything you need to know about the enemy. Mutations, active abilities, stats, and passive abilities, auto abilities, armaments. Auto abilities is something we'll go into later, and it'll become very apparent what they are, but don't worry about that right now. And actually, I have played through this entire campaign once, and I never noticed precision targets right here. But you can also click this to see if you crit them with melee, what you can do to them. I honestly, it's right there, never noticed it. So I just learned something.
Your command.
Okay. We're gonna go up with Iolanthus, our Justicar.
In position.
He has 3 armor, so we don't really have to worry about dangling him or exposing him. And we're going to use our grenade to blast these 2 cultists over towards this other cultist.
As you command.
that's a good thing to point out at this point. I use grenades primarily to position enemies or to blow them off ledges. Grouping enemies together will benefit you for AoE abilities, which the Purgator has a lot of them, and we don't have a Purgator, unfortunately. I should have brought one. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway.
Standing ready.
We're going to advance with our other Justicar boars. What shall we do? Okay, let's shoot this crate of explosives and knock this final cultist back with the others. And now they're clustered, so if we wanted to, we could hit all 4 with a grenade. But we're gonna go ahead and just put some damage. Put some damage down. Going to teleport forward.
I sense something near.
Okay.
My blade is yours. Seeking the tainted.
Alright.
At your service.
Okay, I'm gonna use this grenade on Storm to kill the one cultist on the edge and push everyone else forward.
Mercy is praise the Emperor.
And that will allow
Daemonhunters. For the Emperor.
Okay, that will allow my apothecary to destroy the stubber
the darkness.
and put some damage on this other cultist.
Mercy in death. Threat eliminated.
Alright, so on the enemy turn, their cultist foolishly ran past my interceptor, so I got an attack of opportunity and finished him off. Okay.
Yes, Commander.
However, I wasn't worried as I had the armor, so the cultist couldn't have done much damage anyhow.
Your orders, unleash me.
Okay, we're just advancing with everyone.
As ordered. Let the hunt continue.
I think, yeah, he found the enemy pod again. Okay, we're gonna try to get our knights into decent position before we reveal that final pod.
I am here to serve. Your orders at once. Standing ready.
Wait, that creature.
Inquisitor, we have seen the dead walk in this way before.
As have I. Poxwalkers are evidence of warp corruption. This is no natural plague.
Okay, we're gonna move these 2 poxwalkers. We're gonna blast them forward.
As you command. Onward, brothers!
And with our apothecary,
We bring
we're
death!
going to take some of those kills.
Good. I will need to examine this corpse and...
I will not tolerate this contamination spreading to my servitors.
Do not obstruct me, tech priest.
I am the
I will
Rotten
follow
Cyphos.
proper protocols.
With alacrity.
Okay, and we're gonna use Storm to get the final kill of the mission.
Satisfactory effort. Now return with my carcass so I can set to work.
We will deliver them to you as soon as containment is properly confirmed and sanctified.
Be swift about it. If this plague has already spread beyond this planet, then we will have far more ground to cover.
Alright, we have just completed mission 1 of our Legendary Grandmaster campaign. Okay, we got the corpse, the Poxwalker corpse for Vakir to look at, and 15 servitors. This is the XP/promotion screen, and you'll see we get 20 for going on a mission for every night. So Irelanthus was our rank 2 knight, so he had 50 to begin with, and now he has 70. Boars had 0, now he has 20. However, you also get XP per kills, and that's why I fed the kills to our Interceptor and our Apothecary, because I'm wanting to level them up to 2 first. So Storm got 20 for the mission and 11 for kills, and Harn got 20 for mission, 10 for kills. And this puts them in the place where next mission they will level up just from the mission XP. We're on the star map. We have to advance time before we can move anywhere. However, we have not gone over our knights yet. So let's go through our 6 starting knights.
Irelanthus.
Let's take a look at them. So every knight gets 1 trait, 1 special unique trait. So this knight gains 1 ammo, plus 1 ammo for their equipped grenades. This is a very good trait. And I like it on the Justicar too, because just the way Justicars usually play a support role, just because Honor the Chapter is so powerful, and grenades synergize really well with that. Now the other aspect here is different classes get a little unique edge as well. So the Justicar gets +1 armor with their Aegis Shield, and you'll notice when I cast Aegis Shield, Justicars get 3 temporary armor as opposed to 2. Good start. Okay, this is Harn, our Apothecary, and he got Lightning Reflexes, which is +10 focus. And focus increases their chance to trigger autos and afflictions. Okay, so an affliction would be like Emperor's Judgment. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so it already shows it. Even though I don't have Emperor's Judgment yet, it'll be a 110% chance to apply Hobbled to enemy units for 2 turns. But the auto abilities, I'm going to show you an auto ability. We're going to go to Force Sword, and we'll see this Force Sword has an auto called Parry. We're going to equip it on our knight, and we're going to go to our auto abilities. Now, before our knight had no autos. Now we have 1 auto, and it's Parry, and we get it from our weapon. And it's 60% 1 a turn. So when this unit is hit by a melee attack, there's a 60% chance to cancel it automatically. And again, the reason for that increased 10% is Lightning Reflexes. So Lightning Reflexes, I like it. It's not what I would choose for my Apothecary, but it's definitely not bad. This is one of our Purgators. Okay, Aegis Adept is a really good trait. I do like it on Justicars, because they end up being more of your tanky unit that you will put out there to receive fire when you're in bad situations. And Justicars already get 3 armor for Aegis Shield, so this would make it 5, which is pretty legitimate, especially if they're in Terminator armor and they already have the base 2. That would put them up to 7 armor. So yeah, it's a good trait, just not on the Purgator. And the Purgator can use side cannon, silencers, and incinerators. I don't know why this one has a Force Sword equipped by default. Let's change that real quick. Alright, so that's our first Purgator. Let's look at our next one, Fool. Venerable Soul, +1 max willpower. That's okay, so he has 6 instead of 5 willpower. Not much to say about that. This is our other Justicar, Boars. Okay, Boars has Omniscience Chosen. I do like this one, but it's a bit of a lottery, and it has no impact early game, because there's a facility you have to build on the ship. before you can even access augmetics. So it has no effect early campaign, but later campaign it'll be pretty cool. Yeah, we'll build around it a bit. All right, our final knight, our interceptor, Storm. Okay, great destiny. So on interceptors, there are 3 traits I love to get, and this is one of them, so I'm very happy. Now, this trait comes with the downside, but it's really powerful. He gets 2 HP, 1 willpower. That alone is decent, but not worth a downside. But the +1 damage to melee attacks, that's not force strikes, that's just your standard melee attack. Will do, so the demon hammer I have equipped will do 4 damage on a hit, but he'll do 5. And that 1 damage is pretty useful. However, the downside is, we'll see over here, we have resilience. This knight does not gain resilience. So as he levels up, he will always be at 1 resilience. And what that means is if he falls, he's gone. We don't get to revive him. He's just out of commission. Yeah, I think it's worth it. But we'll have fun with that. Honestly, this loadout, minus the Purgators, is really good. Like, they all have abilities that I would... Except, I mean, I don't know that I would choose lightning reflexes, but it's definitely good. Alright, let's advance time. Wait for our plasma reactor to come online.
The Dominus has restored the star map to its full function. We are receiving a barrage of scanning data and astropathic scrapings from across the sector. This plague appears to have already spread its tendrils far and wide. We are faced with reports of 2 infected systems. We should monitor this infestation carefully and judge where best to direct our forces while the Inquisitor pursues her answers. Failure will cost many souls.
Okay, our plasma reactor is complete. We're going to start a new project. And we're going to repair the Augurium, which will give us access to Prognosticar benefits restored. And we'll explain that once we actually utilize it. Alright, the next step is to just wait for the next mission. However, I like to wait at Farragar 7. I just find it's easiest to respond to usually 2 missions from there. Alright, here we are. We're going to advance time and see what we get. Bloom spawn detected. 3 new missions.
Commander, our prognosticators have detected this bloom in 3 separate systems. I have identified this planet as a mission location to combat the bloom. From here, you can see some details for this mission, including the resources that Titan's Armory will make available to us if we are successful.
Alright, 10 servitors. 20 servitors. And 1 grimoire. Alright, so there's a few things to point out here. This mission has 10 days left and has 1 grimoire. Now this reward can be 1 or 2, it's just random. I mean, 1 is more common, obviously, but 2 is double. This mission has 12 days left, and it has 20 servitors as a reward. And this can be anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20. So 10, 15, or 20. So 20 is very, very nice, especially for the first mission of the campaign. And here are 10 servitors. So what we're going to see is, oh, and then also 11 days left. So we got one of each, a 10, an 11, and a 12. And those are the amount of days you can have to respond to the mission. And that is also just random as far as I know. So we're going to come here to the 20 servitors because obviously that is the mission we want to make sure we hit. And then from there, we'll see which one of the other ones we can make it to, if at all. All right, we got three days left on the Augurium, and we can we can hit it, but just barely. All right. And could we hit this one? No, we could not hit that one. But early on in the campaign, I would prioritize servitors over grimoires anyhow. All right, well, let's, yeah. If we do have an issue getting over to this mission, which it's not indicating that we will, although it's so close, it's a bit worrisome, but we can always use our prognostic card that will be ready in 3 days, but we will deal with that after we complete this mission.
The psychic disturbances here echo those I encountered on Koromar.
The hive cities are abandoned, but there is life below. Brothers, seek out any corruption and purge it.
It will be done. Chaos stirs within the shadows.
Usually what I'll do is just move one knight forward until I get a reading on a pod. And then I'll just sprint the others up safely so I don't have to worry about accidentally revealing the pod. Alright, let's see. The pod is going to move off next turn, and I don't want that to happen, so we're going to engage this turn. But before
Taking position.
I do that, let's do our Aegis shields.
Wards activated. Your orders, wards in front. I am his chosen shield. Standing ready, wards in front.
Alright,
Standing ready.
and now I'm gonna see if this is okay. It is, which is great. We're gonna inch up, try to get all of our knights into a more relevant position. There we go.
Knights!
Just wait.
We are the swords of justice. At your
Alright,
service.
so Boars, who has 5 armor, we're just going to dangle. Because in the event that we do not manage to take everyone out, I want to give them a good target.
Run! Storm!
Okay.
Yes,
Let's get
Commander.
Iolanthus out there too. I'm going to jump up to here. And we're going to use a grenade, and we are just going to... My goal is to push these 2 cultists in the back towards this cultist up here, and I'll explain it in a second why I want to do that. And we're going to push this stubber forward.
I strike true.
Alright, so he hunkered, so he had 1 armor that I had to chew through, and you see it's temporary because of the number 1 on it, which means it'll last for 1 turn. But we don't need to...
What is your will?
It's not a big deal.
The Emperor lights our path.
Alrighty.
Moving now.
Let me see what shooting the statue can do. It's not quite what I was hoping for. I was hoping I could hit all 3 of these, but not a big deal.
Your command? What is your will?
Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll actually go with Daemonhunters. Just trying to see what my options are here. I'm gonna do this. Alrighty.
The pain will set you free.
I am here to
Now
serve.
we're gonna teleport up to this full cover with Storm, and we're going to peek out and mop up these 2 kills here.
Mercy is death.
And this kill here.
No demon shall avoid its
Okay, we got
fate.
3 more cultists,
Your orders?
and
Hordes.
not a great way to deal with them all. So we're going to 10. Yeah, we'll just
Cower.
take 2 hits on this guy, and then he should. Our apothecary will get the kill as he runs away. So that's why I didn't do 2 force strikes. Save the willpower. Oh, here we got a crit, so we took out his stubber, his big weapon.
The gods favor you.
Foe destroyed,
Kill them
Commander.
all. See one.
Pathetic.
Alright, so there you'll see we
Yes,
had Aegis
Commander.
Shield up, and even though there were 3 cultists remaining at the end of the turn, we didn't take a single point of damage.
In an instant.
We're gonna use Storm to take out this suppression.
See them fall, brothers. My blade is
We're gonna
here
position
to serve.
Iolanthus forward,
At once.
and we're gonna take our
Standing ready.
Apothecary Harn, and we're gonna finish up this cultist.
Vengeance!
However, before I do that, I wanna get Boars into a better situation, because he does have the Terminator armor, so that translates to less mobility.
Sanctified and purged. We strive. I am here to serve.
I'm gonna come up to this full cover here, see if we can get sight on the enemy.
Your
Nope.
command.
Okay, I'm gonna move up here. I want to get vision on them just so
Standing ready.
I can know what to expect next turn.
Now. Let the hunt
Okay.
continue.
We see them, and we see that they are not moving, which is
At
good.
your service.
Okay, I was gonna say that shouldn't reveal, but we're getting close, so
Advancing. Your orders here. Unleash me.
I'm
On my
gonna
way.
get Harn into as good of a position as possible, and then we're gonna Aegis Shield.
The Aegis shields us. The Aegis shields us. Your command. Wards activated. Iolanthus. Wards activated.
Alright, so
What is your will?
I'm gonna move my interceptor. Let's see.
Affirmative.
Up to full cover. I guess Harn has already used all his movement,
Yes, Commander.
and will reveal.
Gods preserve us.
Interesting.
Just wait. Just wait.
So always assess the pod. Now this pod is largely just these poxwalkers, and we have 2 cultists. One is a grenadier. The thing you need to know about grenadiers, they have time bomb and toxin grenade. And that's it. And the grenade launcher gives access to time bomb and toxin grenade. So there's no fear from him in terms of if he's alive on his enemy turn, he cannot do damage to us. He can be annoying, but he cannot actually harm us. Unless he melees for 1, but he'll only do that if you end the turn next to him. Okay. Alright, trying to figure out how I want to tackle this. And I know how I'm going to do it. So we're going to teleport into the thick of things. We're not going to let them come to us. That would be a very real strategy, though. You need to realize what your enemies are, and these are all melee except these 2. And only 1 cultist that can actually hit us.
Standing ready.
With a direct damage attack. Alright, Iolanthus is going to pop out here. I'm going to throw a grenade right there.
Firing on target.
Alright. And now that we've done that, we're going to see what type of... Okay.
Your orders?
My blade is ever ready.
I am here to serve.
Praise the Emperor.
Okay, I'm moving Harn up, and I'm gonna do something like this. We'll get him a kill. It'll knock a poxwalker. What are they called? Okay, so I moved Harn up to throw the grenade, and the goal is to hit 4 of these, which we can, so it's perfect. That's a pretty good strategy sometimes, is use your grenade to deal a bit of damage and also set up an attack like that.
Your command.
Okay, so
At your service.
I'm actually just gonna run boars all the way up just for 1 hit.
Face me.
I guess this is the end of the mission. I should have just done a force strike. So that was a bit of a mistake, but not a big deal.
For the Golden Throne!
I guess we can just... I'll just put some damage on the Grenadier.
I strike true.
Just wait.
It's taken so long. This is strange. This doesn't usually happen.
Commander, I sense a massive spike in warp activity below.
It is a warp surge, Inquisitor. Such events are common in pitch battles between Psychers.
And yet your brothers have clearly restrained their powers. Something foul is at work below.
Alright, let's see. I'm a little bit curious.
Mercy in death.
Okay. I was curious if that would actually
I am here to serve.
give XP, and it did, so that's kind of nice.
I am here to serve.
Alright, so we have... This is my apothecary.
What is your will? Face me.
Oh hey, you got a crit? That's really nice.
Get up! Get up! Get up!
Here.
And let's use Harn, and let's clean up this final cultist. And that's the end of the mission, folks.
Cower!
All enemies have been cleansed. Good work, Commander.
Alright, now we gotta go straight to the next mission. And get us 10 more servitors. Alright, we got the 2 promotions we were expecting. It's awesome. Okay, for the interceptor, the way I go for is I want to get more range on my teleport for mobility around the map. And then I want to get improved force strike for 1 extra damage. For my apothecary, getting Terminator armor and Emperor's Judgment. And sorry, I should have lingered over them for a minute. So let's go to my apothecary. Let's go to my abilities. Emperor's Judgment is a affliction that is an AoE target, and it inflicts hobbled, which reduces the enemy movement by 2 for 2 turns. So yeah, you see it's -2 move speed under the hobbled affliction. It's pretty good, but what we're wanting to do is warp charge it with this warp charge ability, and then it immobilizes them for 2 turns so they can't move at all. And then we can also increase the area by 1. It becomes a very effective ability. And as for our interceptor,
Storm!
our plan is, now that we have the improved force strike, next turn we're going to get this teleport discipline for swap allies, and we're going to get hammer hand for seed harvesting, and then the next plan is to come up to teleport strike. Okay, it says we can reach it, so we're gonna go for it. Our augurium's done. And since we already got a fat load of servitors in that last mission, which was lucky, we're just gonna output this reactor right away. We're gonna upgrade it. Our goal here is Warp Drive 1, which increases ship speed by 20%. And the logic here is on the star map.
Functionality to the augurium and should review our prognostica choir. When prognosticas are attuned,
I'll deal with that later. Anyways, on the star map, our goal is to move as quickly as possible because we want to respond to as many missions as possible, because missions result in more resources, more knights, more gear, more XP. It's just everything to make the game easier is doing more missions. So once we get that speed up, I'm not sure what our next.
We cannot afford to sit on our hands while the bloom spreads unchallenged.
Okay. Vakir is mad that we missed one of the 3 missions. Commander, the Edict will not be able to reach all missions before they expire. Yeah, I love how Lunette is practical and logical, and Vakir is just annoyed. Anyway, yeah, we can't reach all before they expire. Reconstruction of the warp drive, which I just mentioned, is our first goal, to upgrade it by 1. And augurium systems would make it easier to reach missions with time to spare. Yeah, so that's already what we're going for. I guess that's a really good tip the game gives you. We're probably going to put this prognosticar here, and I guess since I have it up, I'll just talk about it now. What it does is, the main thing it does that's useful is bloom missions deadline plus 3 days. So if a bloom mission spawns in any of these systems, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these 6 systems, we get plus 3 days to respond. So 3 more days of travel time. That, in addition to the 20% ship speed, super powerful. But we're gonna avoid placing our prognosticar until it's more beneficial, or until we know we need it. Because the other side effects are -1 corruption when attuned. So if this planet had 1 corruption level, and we can see it here, this planet has 1 corruption, right? It'll remove 1. So it can help. That's kind of a minor side effect, because you almost never place a prognosticar to reduce the corruption level. But you can also see the enemy types on missions that are there. So it's pretty nice. You have a limited number of them, so you want to place them efficiently. All right, let's keep going. Yep, we made it by the skin of our teeth, so we're just gonna jump right into it. However, before we go in, we're gonna do something unorthodox here. We're gonna go to our Purgator, and we are going to return him to Titan for 1 requisition. I don't like to do this because I do want a Purgator, but we'll have plenty of ways to get them. We're going to return both of our Purgators to Titan for 2 requisition. And now, with that done, we're going to start this mission. And pretty soon, I'll explain why I dismissed the 2 knights when it's relevant, which it will be, I think, shortly after this mission.
Why have you led us here, Inquisitor? There is no sign of strife on the comms.
Look more carefully, Knight. The codes used are old, but they are a mark of an active plague cult. Of that, I have no doubt.
If that is true, my brothers will make short work of them.
Standing ready. As ordered.
Right, trying to find that enemy pod.
I sense
Okay,
something
they're way up
near.
there and they're not moving. So we can just safely run our knights up.
Moving out.
Alright, Harn, let's get over here. And boars. Okay, they're headed this way, so they'll probably end next turn in here. So we're gonna just set up and wait for them.
I am with you. My blade is yours. Daemonhunters. At your service.
Okay, we're just gonna end our turn, see where they go. Right where we wanted them, and we're gonna do our Aegis shields.
The Aegis shield. At your service. The Aegis shield. The Emperor likes to have his shield.
So I just noticed
Yes, Commander. Wards activated.
Storm called it the Aegis shield,
I am here
and then
to
Iolanthus
serve.
called it the Aegis shield. Because I was wondering, is it Aegis or Aegis? But I guess the knights, we can go both ways. I've heard it both ways. Alright, let's bust down this door with the boars.
Wars.
Alright, boars, knock down that door.
May the powers protect us!
Alright, so
I will fight from here.
this is primarily a Poxwalker group.
My blade is ever ready. Your command? Standing ready.
Alright, Iolanthus,
Your
we're gonna
command.
get you a little bit of XP here.
I am with you.
Oops. I hate that. It needs to, like, I'm trying to target the thing behind it, and it happens to me a lot. Alright, we're just going to do this, and the reason for that is it'll push all of these melee Poxwalkers towards us, which will make it easy for us to clean them up, and then it'll knock this guy back here
For the Emperor.
away.
The enemy is wounded.
Okay, I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna see, okay, we have 90. We need 15 XP on Iolanthus to get him a promotion at the end of this. So we're gonna try to do that. And a good way to do that would be to mop up a lot of these kills with a grenade. And we will do that.
Your
But
orders?
before we do that, we're going to take some shots.
Foe wounded. Taste my fury. Island.
And now Iolanthus can get all of those kills.
As you command.
There we go.
We slay the
12.
darkness.
So he needs 3 more. He needs 1 cultist kill and he'll be good to go. Alright, we're gonna use boars to just run downtown and finish up this cultist.
Vengeance. Enemy down.
Yes, Commander.
And then we're gonna teleport.
With alacrity.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but the range on teleport is so much better now. And we have 2 actions, so we do not need to force strike.
Fall. This battle is ended.
Alright, and there we go.
Praise the Emperor.
The first pod destroyed easily. There's 1 more to go.
More horrors invade our realm.
Okay, so we just found the second pod, which is right here. Let's...
Here.
I'm not gonna try to initiate this turn. I think the goal will be next turn.
Wars.
Alright, Boars needs to come way up here. Is this my interceptor? Okay, I'm gonna run right up here. Yeah, if I go forward 1 more, I think we'll initiate. So we're gonna wait and cast Aegis Shield.
The Aegis shields us. I am here to forge in heart. What is your will? The Aegis shields us.
Standing ready. Wards activated.
Alright, and
Unleash
let's
me.
get our knights
Moving
into
out.
position.
What is your will?
I'm just slowly inching forward, seeing
Yes,
what
sir.
positions I can manage to grab before we actually
I am here
activate.
to serve.
Alright, interesting.
At your service.
I'm gonna just try to come right here.
Powers protect us.
I'm gonna need to see one.
Foe sighted.
So it's hard to remember, but when you see oily black tar on the surface, you can actually ignite that and start burning, which can cause the enemy to burn.
Your orders.
But let's see, I'm gonna teleport aggressively way up here. And I'm gonna use my grenade to try to take out... kind of curious, if this does blow up, okay, it's not gonna hit me, that's good. So Storm is safe even if this blows up. I don't want to cause it to ignite, because if it does, there's a chance it will blow them off into the ledge, and I don't think I get the XP if that happens.
Opening fire.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Okay, so 4 died. He got 13, so I think he got it all. That is a lot more. That was
Praise the Emperor.
that was better than I intended. Okay,
Standing
Iolanthus,
ready.
you're gonna come up here. That doesn't matter. We're just gonna come up
Taking
here and
position.
take a shot.
I stand. Serve to the unworthy.
Alright, and he will level up at the end of this
What
mission,
is your will?
which is what was intended.
My blade is your command. Ready.
Okay, and we're gonna drop down to cover just right here.
As ordered.
And then we'll just have to deal with the final cultist at the end of the next turn. See, our apothecary has all 3 just It's hard because the cultist is behind full cover, so we have to flank him, and Harn is definitely not in the position to do that. So let's just come back here. It'll be easy enough to finish up next turn.
Weak.
Alright, no big deal. We're going to feed this final kill to Storm. And that's it.
All enemies have been cleansed. Good work, Commander.
Okay, we got the 10 servitors, which is awesome. We got 2 promotions. And look at that, our interceptor is ready to get another level on the next mission. Our apothecary will have to work for it, so we'll see what we can do. Alright, Ulrich, we're going to take Honor the Chapter for +1 AP. And we're going to... I'm debating between taking Hammerhand to help harvest seeds, or the equipment slot. I'm gonna go Hammerhand. And Boars is gonna take Honor the Chapter and the upgrade to it. And what that, it costs 1 more willpower, but also gives 1 extra AP, so it's worth it. And just so you guys realize what I'm talking about when I say Hammerhand. Let me go to, who has it? Islanthus. It's just a guaranteed crit with melee. And you'll see, I think for our next mission, some enemies have seeds and we want to harvest them, but the only way to harvest them safely is via a melee critical strike extraction. And crits are like, what, 25% chance with these cultists at the beginning, so this just guarantees we can get the seeds when we want them.
Come, let us talk over what troubles you, brother.
Okay, so let's look here. We have 13 days on our improved reactor output, and our Pox Walker Necropsy is in 5 days. However, we want to position ourselves for the next bloom spawn, and the next bloom spawning, I guess, when the missions erupt, but we're going to go back to Fairgar 7. That is where I like to wait. And what we'll do is, I think we get a cutscene from this necropsy research, and then after that we'll call it quits for this episode.
This Poxwalker was one of the Imperial faithful, afflicted with a strain of mutagenic virus. There is no doubt we are dealing with the work of the plague god Nurgle. This must be the bloom whispered of in those astropathic fragments. Within the carcass, I found a germ of some ancient power corrupted with a foul psychic resonance. This seed is used to spread the virus. Of that I am certain, but it arrived to me damaged, and there is little else I can learn from it. In order to study how we might fight this plague, I must acquire one of these seeds completely intact. I can instruct your brothers on how to extract these specimens properly. Please ensure they pay attention. The Emperor loathes indolence. Let's not disappoint him. This is Inquisitor Cartha Vakir of the Ordo Malleus. I am alumnus of Evixia Danica. Access code Clarion Magenta 111721. I require immediate response from Titan.
This is Grandmaster Vardan Kai responding, Inquisitor. This act borders on heresy. The screams of the astropods you burned already reverberate through the warp. It is fortunate for you that I am prosecuting a campaign in the nearby Chimera system. I suggest you explain yourself, and quickly.
Grandmaster, I have commandeered the Baleful Edict. We face...
You have seized a Grey Knight strike cruiser.
As is my right, I have foreseen dire omens for this sector. Already Nurgle's poxwalkers roam free.
Oh, indeed. I'm surprised an agent of your pedigree is not equipped to deal with such lesser threats of chaos. Agravain, perhaps you can clear up this nonsense for me.
My lord, he fell in battle during our last campaign against the Cadium cult. We had been returning to Titan for repairs when this Inquisitor intervened.
Ah, Brother Ektar, that is sorry news. I trust then that you have appointed one of our brothers to act in his stead. Well, speak up then, Commander. What say you to this Inquisitor's story?
I like Lunette, so I'm going to say we should return to Titan, and I feel like the Edict should be repaired.
Routine threat? That specimen we collected is proof of something far more foul.
Proof is drawn from hard data, Inquisitor, which you have yet to provide. If this is not a serious outbreak, I am inclined to recall my brothers back to Titan.
Then it seems I must raise this matter with the Lord Inquisitor. The Baleful Edict will of course have to remain here until we can strike a formal tribunal, which given our current location may well require several months. So unfortunate. I had hoped we might avoid all this tedious bureaucracy.
I suppose the Chamber Militant should not be seen to shirk from its duties, no matter how pitiful. I will leave the edict in your hands for now, and send you what resources I can spare.
You have my thanks, Grandmaster, but there is yet another reason I desire to speak with you. As steward of the Armory of Titan, I had hoped you could release further assistance.
Don't thank me yet. I will give you 60 Tertean solar days to prove this threat warrants the deployment of an entire strike force. Battle-worn as it is, Strike Force Xiphos could be put to good use in several campaigns across the galaxy. Any further requisition from my arsenal will have to be earned.
But I... Typical.
After each Grand Master's report, the resource slot, you can only unlock or upgrade each slot once per report. Slot upgrades increase your chance of accessing more and better equipment and resources.
Alright, what we're going to do here is we're going to take Knight Requisition. This is a must in my opinion. And I'll get into why later. We're going to take Melee, Armor, and War Gear. And so each one of these takes 2 Requisition. So sending those 2 Purgators to Titan allows us to grab a 4th. And that's the only reason I did it. Because I didn't love their traits, and with this Knight Requisition, I'll be able to hopefully get another Purgator fairly quickly. Hopefully, we'll see. And I would love to grab this one as well, but we don't have the Requisition for it. So that's what we're going to take. Alright, and before that Grandmaster report, we finished that research. So let's go here. We're going to take Warp Field Penetration to give access to Quicksilver and Stratagems. Actually, let's read this. I never read this stuff, so this could be helpful with the lore. This plague surrounds the worlds it contaminates, with a miasma of psychic energy that confounds any attempt to interfere from orbit. Yet with careful study, I believe we can penetrate this shield and project my psychic powers onto the battlefield. Yeah, so it's actually Vakir who makes all of the stratagems available, and we'll get into those as we unlock them. But if she's out, it means we don't have stratagem access, I'm pretty sure. Alright, and we're gonna just finish up our trip to Farrakar 7. Alright guys, well that's it for this episode. I'll see you guys in the next one.